What's Buddhism, precious? Is Buddhism a religion or just a philosophy? Can I practice Buddhism and still be a Christian? I've got the answers to these questions. Come on, check it out with me. Shalom, my friends. Someone recently asked me to do a video on this subject because a friend of theirs said that Buddhism is not a religion, it's a philosophy, and therefore Christians can also be Buddhists. No way. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, Buddhism is a religion indigenous to the Indian subcontinent, which means a southern region of Asia, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. There are two major branches. One is called Theravada, which means the school of the elders, and is practiced in Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, as well as other places. And then the second major branch is Mahayana, which means the great vehicle. This branch is practiced in China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Singapore, Taiwan, and you have some other Buddhist beliefs like Zen Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, and so on. I have a quote here from Siddhartha, who is the originator, known as the Buddha. He says, quote, "Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your religious books." Close quote. So, can you be a believer in the word of Elohim and also be a Buddhist when the founder of Buddhism says don't believe anything that is found written in the scriptures? Answer that for yourself. One Buddhist quote is, "Buddhism transcends a personal God." So much for Elohim. Buddhism transcends Elohim. Really? And Buddhism avoids theology. Hello? The greatest worth is self-mastery. It's not possible for anyone to master themselves. As I explain in my book, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, please do so. You'll see a link at the end of this video you can click on. You can get paperback or ebook, and pretty soon I'm finishing up work now on an audio book, which you'll find very enjoyable. But people are trying to find happiness, satisfaction, reading books, self-help books and all that. And I explain in my book, that doesn't work. It is not possible for anyone to change anything about themselves without the indwelling Ruach. Nothing good ever comes out of any attempts made in the flesh. Most of you watching this video, my friends, know exactly what I'm talking about. Two of my favorite Buddhist quotes from years ago You know, again, as I explain in my book, I studied all the religions when I was in my teens and early 20s. And I had two favorite Buddhist quotes. One of them was, if along your way you should come across the Buddha, kill him. The first time I read that, I thought, what? But, you know, I understood that what they were saying was, God is found within, not outside yourself. So if you think you see God out there, you're better off killing him, you know, because it's a deception, whatever. Again, as I point out in my book, all the religions, philosophies, and beliefs in the world, they all use truth. The devil uses truth to deceive many. And my personal quote is 90% of the truth equals no truth at all. And what I discovered through all of my studies throughout my life with all these various religions and philosophies is that statement, 90% of the truth equals no truth at all. And what I saw was in all the religions, all the philosophies, they present all the truths of the Father, but they leave out that one bit, that is, that the only way to the Father is through His Son, Yeshua. And with that little bit out, you have no truth at all. And you know, this is done again with Buddhism. My second favorite quote was the student asked his master, "Master, what is Buddha?" And the master says, "Buddha is a dung wiping stick." I don't know anybody ever wiped their butt with a stick. I don't know. Another one is that Buddha is a dried stick of dung. Personally, you know, if you're following the teachings of a dried stick of dung, something ain't right, my friend. Can you be a Christian and still practice Buddhism? No, and here's why. Number one, Buddhism teaches reincarnation. Yeshua made it very clear in the Word. There's no such thing as reincarnation. He said, quote, "It is appointed unto man but once to die," close quote. Now, you know, there are exceptions to that, aren't there? Lazarus was raised from the dead by Yeshua and later on died again. But, you know, that's not what Yeshua was talking. He was talking about reincarnation. He's saying, no, reincarnation doesn't happen. You don't die and come back again, live again, try again. You know, that goes against what the way is all about. It goes against the message of the good seed. And that message is that salvation and the only way to the Father is through the Son. You're not saved by works, and that's what reincarnation is all about. Buddhism teaches that there is no soul. That goes against the message of the good seed. Goes against the book that we love. Teaches that worldly things are not permanent. Oh, really? We're not going to have houses in eternity? We're not going to eat food and fellowship in eternity? Sorry. The Buddhism teaches that there's no fall of Adam and Hawa, Adam and Eve. There's no original sin that's shared by all. Buddhism teaches against the word. Buddhism teaches that there is no flood. The whole bit with Noah and the flood. Garbage, according to Buddhism. Buddhism teaches that there's no need for a savior. It teaches that there is no savior born of a virgin. He was not crucified. He was not resurrected. He did not ascend to heaven. There is no such thing as Armageddon and the tribulation, and there is no second coming. Can you be a Christian and believe in Buddhism? No, you can't. They teach that salvation comes through works. You save yourself. Have fun with that one. There are some 370 million Buddhists around the world. Buddhism has its origins from around 500 BC. Comes from Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, who was enlightened when he was around 35 years old. Siddhartha was born in 563 BC, and at 29 years old he realized that wealth and luxury didn't bring happiness, so he explored all the religions and philosophies of his day, and after 6 whole years, wow, he really spent a lot of time studying, huh? 6 years? Siddhartha, after 6 years of studying the world's religions and philosophies of his day, considered himself to be enlightened and spent the rest of his life teaching his philosophy called Dhamma, which means truth. He died when he was 80 years old. Basically, Buddhism is based on 4 noble truths. Number 1, life is suffering. Can't get away from it. Pain, aging, disease, and death, that's where you're headed and there's nothing else. You cannot avoid fear, disappointment, and anger, but you can still be happy. Whatever. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by craving. Wanting deprives you of happiness. Really. I want to know Elohim better. I want to see eternity and be living in paradise. I want to be in the Net Chatef and become Chavari to Yeshua, one with him, his friend. Well, according to this, that deprives me of happiness. No, it doesn't. It gives me untold joy and happiness. It's not true. Quote, craving to exist leads to physical suffering because it causes one to be reborn. What? Let me read that again. Craving to exist leads to physical suffering because it causes you to be reborn. You know, I don't even understand that. I crave to have life, especially chai. But that leads to physical suffering? I don't think so. It leads me to doing things like this. Because I crave to exist in eternity and paradise, I also crave to share that with you. And so I make these videos. There's no suffering. I love this. I love doing this. There's no suffering. And then suffering because it causes you to be reborn, that makes you suffer? Reborn. To me, being reborn means being born from above. And there's no suffering there. Anyway, the third noble truth is that suffering can be overcome by giving up useless craving and learning to live in the now. Forget the past and the future. And then you'll have more time to help others. This is nirvana. I don't know. From what I remember about nirvana, it's like to experience a state of nothingness. You sit there and you meditate on nothing. Don't think. Make your mind blank and experience nothingness. I I tried to do that when I was in my teens and 20s, and it was the most boring times of my entire life. I said, this is boring. I don't want to be nothing. I want to experience everything. What's this nothing stuff? Sorry. Now, the fourth noble truth, maybe the craziest one of all, is that the noble eightfold path leads to the end of suffering. Meaning being moral and being aware of your own thoughts and actions, developing wisdom by understanding the four noble truths, which really there's only three of them, because the fourth one says that you have to understand the four. The four is understanding the four. There's only three then. Who's the author of confusion? I mean, I think there's a lot of confusion going on here. Developing wisdom by understanding the four noble truths. Really, there's only three of them, because the fourth one is understanding the four noble truths. And developing compassion for others. And then, karma, the sum total of one's actions, body, speech, and mind, that's works. That's works. So, can you be a Christian and also be a Buddhist? No. And if you think you can, you don't know what the way is all about. You don't know the word. You haven't paid attention to any of it. And you're now focusing your salvation on your own personal works. What happened to Yeshua? What happened to your relationship with Elohim, if you ever had one? That's it on Buddhism, my friends. I hope that this video presentation has been a berekah to you. Shalom.
Who do you say the Son of Man is? Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, still others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. But I pose the question today now, who do you say he is?